let's get into it. All right, we're back on the Mana Symbol channel with special guest in the chat, More Delight, as well as Alex Frank, all the way from Ontario, Canada. No, I'm kidding. I mean, they are there, and they're always welcome. So we're going to play a little bit more of this Titanic creativity deck, Titan creativity deck from Face to Face Calgary. This was a top 8 list on, I believe, this Saturday. It's got some interesting bits and pieces. So Cedric Phillips was trying to play this deck for a little while. He got it off it fairly quick. And it's definitely got its fans in terms of creativity decks. So once upon a time, someone asked, like, can't you just put a Valakut into the creativity deck? It's got all these mountains already. And the truth of the matter is, not without some heavy restructuring. To that point, people have managed to do that heavy restructuring and come up with a pretty good version of the deck, which has some strengths and weaknesses that we'll get into here. So when it comes to creativity decks, your payoff, it's one of the biggest decisions you're going to make because it's going to really dictate all the other choices in your deck. So in this case, what Primeval Titan does is it has immediate impact on the battlefield in that it gives you a tangible advantage. So even if it gets Supreme Verdicted, you went up 2 lands per Titan that you got. Much like Archon of Cruelty, these enter the battlefield triggers are really powerful in that way. But they do make you more vulnerable to some decks like Hammer Time, which just might be able to kill you. However, what Primeval Titan can also do is, yeah, you're going to keep those lands, but what if those lands just killed your opponent? So in this deck, a Creativity X3, if you're able to cast it, gets you Titan, Titan, Titan. The first one gets you 2 Valakuts. The second one gets you a Valakut and a mountain. That mountain should trigger off the other mountains that you have in play 3 times with 3 Valakuts. And then the final Titan, the third Titan, gets 2 more mountains, and that gives you another 6 triggers. You get 9 Valakut triggers. You can deal 27 damage directly to your opponent's face or to any number of targets divided into groups of 3. So basically, you can Creativity X3 and immediately get a game win in most situations. If the game is more developed than like just turn 5 Creativity X2 or even turn 4 Creativity X2, because this deck is playing Explore, you can certainly get a lot of damage out of a Creativity X2. It won't be lethal, but it should be lethal fairly quickly after that. And you can also just cast Primeval Titan. It's only 6 mana, and you're playing 3 Wrenn and 6 and 27 lands in this version. And then you've got all the best removal of Prismatic Ending and Lightning Bolt, Hard Evidence as a blocker for Ragavance. We've got some Expressive Iterations, only 2. I really like that in this deck to go down from 4. Don't feel like you only can play 4 of that card, because in this deck there are a lot of higher CMC cards and a lot of lands. So Iteration needs the right balance of cards in your deck, and you need to play at the right times for it to be as powerful as it is in other decks. But this is a combo deck, and digging 3 deep for your next card that's like very powerful in a given situation might just be what you need. We've got some explorers. We've got Prismatic Omen. So this is the land type part of Dryad of the Elysian Grove without the extra land drop. And it's an enchantment rather than being a creature. Basically what this is here for is it means that once you start hitting 6 lands in play, if you have any number of Valakuts, those will all start triggering, just like with Dryad. But it's not a creature, so it doesn't get in the way of your Indomitable Creativity. So, and then we've got some Wrenn and Sixes and some Teferis. The sideboard here has some interesting cards, including Wash Away. This is particularly theoretically useful against Cascade decks, but you can also use the full kicked mode to counter anything for 1 blue, which is fine. You know, against certain types of linear decks, you just gotta have something. And 3 mana. Bison 17, thanks for the Prime resub there. Yeah, I don't know what to say about Wash Away, but we'll see if we run into the right matchups for it. I don't know about that. But a full 4 Force of Vigors, 2 Veil of Summers. So 4 Force of Vigor says to me they're either really, really concerned about Hammer Time or Blood Moons, or maybe a little bit of both. We've got some Aether Gusts also deal with Blood Moons and Titans. We've got Rest in Peace, so maybe the Force of Vigors are also against enemy Titan decks. Amulet Titan has a lot of targets for Force of Vigor between Dryad, Urza Saga, and Amulet Titan or Amulet of Vigor itself. It's goodish against Lurrus too, is it? Just want to see some Hullbreaker. I didn't have Hullbreaker on my list of things I wanted to play today, but there is a crazy blue-green Hullbreaker deck that Cape Dan was talking about on the podcast that I might try to make for Modern. Well, that's not the only issue 406 lol. It's the fact that like you only have one of the card, and I think it's just like occasionally to try to go fast. Creativity needs to not have another creature in the deck if you always want to be able to hit a Titan for Creativity X1. Blue Moon with Hullbreaker. Yeah, that's a fine deck. I want my blue Hullbreaker deck to have Wrenn and Six and or Wilderness Reclamation. So I would rather play Teamer. But you can just play Blue Moon. I saw Wafo do it, and it's like, it works. You definitely can't play Blue-White in that if you play Blue-White and you put a Hullbreaker Horror into it, you're just making the deck worse. Yeah, this is just a fact. Like, I think it's a really bad idea. Mord is here, so I think Mord sums it up best in saying, like, what's the competitive advantage of doing this? And if you play Blue-White Control with Hullbreaker Horror, you're just making your deck worse. All right. We got Lurrus on the other side, so I think I'm going to go Fetch Shock Hard Evidence. Because if they have discard on 1 into Dash Monkey on 2, it's going to hit me. This does cut me off of this Teferi. But there's a lot of fetch lands in this deck, so we'll probably hit one by the time we need it. Hullbreaker's just another great 7-drop for Reclamation. Yeah. Right. Exactly, Mord. And there is just no way that Hullbreaker and Blue-White is worth doing. That's just not... It's not the game that they're playing. Their win conditions are like Jason Teferi because they're also just good tools throughout the rest of the game. Okay, Burn. So we do have an advantage against Burn versus a more stock Creativity deck. Exactly. Like the reason that Blue-White Control is like the best Burn with fetches is that normal? Yeah. They need to get their red-white sources. And on Reclamation to 5e is not better than... Yeah. If you played like Bant Reclamation, which, you know, I guess that's the thing you could play. What the hell was the... Okay, whatever. I don't know what that was, but sure. Legacy Burn play 0 fetches? Well, they have other options, I'm sure, that makes some amount of sense. Oh, they're just not playing white cards. But that's why, though. Yeah. It's not Legacy Burn, exactly. Okay, we're playing... We are playing so many lands in this deck. How is this happening? This is so stupid. 2 turns in a row. The Goblin Guides don't give me a land. Hey, Carrion Lich. I'm against Burn. You know it would be a really good deck to play against Burn? Enchantress. Land? For the love of God. You know what? I didn't talk about the difference between Scapeshift in this deck, but that's worth pointing out. Sneaky Quetzalcoatl. So, yeah, that's a really good comparison. So what if you just played Scapeshift? Wouldn't that be so much better? Obviously. All right. So we're gonna get 2 triggers here. Let's see if we get 2 lands. So Scapeshift requires you to get more resources in play than Creativity does. Next card. What is the next card? Prismatic Ending. So I can go Bolt the Luris. I go to 7. Shock Sacred Foundry. Go to 5. We're just dead here. Yeah, we're just dead. I'm off it. Let's go game 2. Is there technically some pattern of things that win this game from here? Yeah, sure. I don't care. Let's just go game 2. That was horrible. So Aether Gust, and I think Wash Away. Shapeshift is built to get those resources. Do you mean Red Green Titan Shift or do you mean BTL Shift? No Blossoming Calm. I didn't build this deck, and I guess that they think their burn matchup is pretty okay. I'm not sure why there's no Blossoming Calm or Sunset Revelry, but I'm assuming you mean Titan Shift. Okay, so Titan Shift is a very very linear deck. This one's trying to be a bit more interactive. Yeah. I mean, they're very, very good at putting those resources together. They're just also, like, quite vulnerable. And the strength of that deck is it just, like, gets to a point where it just starts making land drops, and that kills your opponent. Yeah. And then if you're talking like 4-color BTL or 5-color BTL shift, like that's very similar to this deck. So that's a really clear comparison. And the biggest difference is that on 4 lands, you can get a Titan into play with a creativity, which is not, it's not like the most powerful interaction of all time. But sometimes that one Titan puts you further ahead, and then you sort of move yourself to the next part of the game there. I think instead of Titan Shift, I'd rather play Amulet. I mean, they're kind of different decks, but they're kind of not, so I guess that makes sense. Pull the trigger on Res. Oh, I saw that. I saw that you typed that. Sorry, I just don't have... we've got more messages coming in than I'm used to getting from only 22 people. Swift Spear. So I can probably slow roll the Bolt on the Swift Spear, and then we'll just play Explore on turn 3, so that I don't have to take so much damage. I need green here. Then hopefully that can get me white. Take the 1. Amulet doesn't want 4 of the new card, maybe 2 or 3. Yeah, I mean, some people like 1, some people like 3 or 4. No, I didn't. No, it's okay. It's okay. You don't need to be. You should be excited. That's an exciting thing. They're just hitting me for 1, huh? Gonna play Eidolon? Well, there is a basic mountain in this version, by the way. If you're curious. Oh, I should have killed the Eidolon. I'm an idiot. Sorry, I'm distracted. Instances. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely... Yeah, this is gonna suck. Yeah. Okay, well. Yep. Yeah, this is gonna be a problem. Oh well. Light up the stage and burn. Huh. Well, that's scary. Neat. All right, check this out. This is pretty cool. So we get to go 4 mana Prismatic Ending on the Eidolon to not take damage. And I have Wash Away to counter one of the cards coming in from the light up the stage, which is just fun. Yeah, wash away. Doing work here. Boris Charm from hand. That's not nice. Our good friend Boris Charm. Problem is they have a Guide in Exile and 3 cards in hands. We're just gonna get squashed. So wash away for suspended cards. It was for suspended cards. It's also a 3-mana counterspell, right? So yeah, I brought it in for Rift Bolt, but like I also just brought it in because it's a 3-mana counterspell, and like this deck puts together enough mana that it's not the worst draw in many places. Oh, they're just gonna have to kill out a hand? Sure. Oh. Alright. Well, I didn't play that very well, so but burn is traditionally an awful matchup for these decks, so theoretically it's the best version of these decks against burn is Archon. They always draw Boros Charm at the right time. I mean, I think they had 2, right? Over the course of that game. Hey, Demir for life. So yeah, so versus Scape Shift, and I think realistically that you could ask the same question about any creativity build versus any Scape Shift build. It's how many resources do you need to have in play for your 1-card combo to I don't Titan the Clock. How many resources do you need in play for your 1-card combo to work? I like creativity because sometimes the only resource you need is a single fetch land, and then any number of clues, treasures, or miscellaneous tokens, crabs, kind of can up the power level of your creativity. Also, Scapeshift decks frequently end up in situations through the mid game where they suddenly find out that they can't get their kill because too many of a given type of card, Mountain in their case, has already been used. So well, I don't agree with the idea that like you should play Wash Away against Lurrus just generally, because then you're leaving a Lurrus in play, and I'd much rather have the removal spell for it. All right, so if my opponent's on anything spell-based, this hand sucks. They're not on a Lurrus deck, so I feel like this hand is a trap. It's like a lot of interaction that doesn't get me anywhere. This one's much better. Probably ship the Teferi. Or maybe just ship the Bolt, because I'm on the play. Hey, Badagaboosh. Badagaboosh. Bada. It's a very rat gem. Thoroughly rat gem. Alright. So yeah, so between Scape Shift and Indomitable Creativity, I just find like creativity needs less resources in play to be good. I've never liked Scape Shift decks. The Wish Titan version is the best Titan Shift. Yes, absolutely. I only tried it like once or twice, but I've played like 2-color Wish Shift and 4-color Wish Shift, and I liked both of those more than I've ever liked anything similar to Titan Shift. Considering buying Twiddlestorm, but damn, it's pricey compared to Giftstorm. Oh yeah. Well, it's a 3-color deck, so that already pushes you into a higher price bracket. You can't play Shivan Reef. You just got Bedlam Revelered? Get their list. I want to play Bedlam Reveler. Can we play Mardu Pyromancer Ward? It's not better than anything. I want you to know that. I want to be very clear. It's not better than anything, and it's a bad idea. It's just mono red from 2018. Oh, boo. I mean, I do like that mono red deck. Not as much as last season Hayashi. Turn 5 Bedlam into 8 damage face. I mean, bad things happen to good people, my friend. So we're just hanging out on our upkeep. Opponent has not disconnected. Yeah, I do, Titan O'Clock. No events for the foreseeable future? None? Are you in a small town or something, Demir for life? Because that's kooky. That's I would not have expected that. No events. Wild. No drafts, no commander night. Owner said it isn't worth his time. Well, you could always try to find a local bar or something like that. I know a lot of legacy communities have had success with doing things like that because then there's no LGS that's No, I agree with you, Titan O'Clock, but like if there are restaurants going, like you can sit at a table with a stranger, masks on, and play Magic, and it's lower risk than sitting unmasked in a restaurant. Like, as far as is my understanding, right? I'm not saying it's zero risk. I'm just saying like as long as everyone's vaccinated and you just mask up during, and then like I don't know. I don't know. There we go. The one thing I had problems with in this deck yesterday when I finished up the league with it, which was a 2-3, and I wasn't particularly impressed versus the first couple times I've played it, where I don't like this deck, but at least I was impressed with the result. Drawing Valakuts is a real pain in the butt. Drawing Dwarven Mines is already something that's kind of awkward sometimes, and drawing Valakuts is like, ugh. Please no. Green, white, white. Green, white taxes? What am I playing against? It's actual factual Heliod? Mord, get in here. I found a Heliod player. Are you serious with this deck today? What is this? What the hell? Okay. Well, God, I hate this stupid card. I hate it. Alright, I want another creativity in the deck, even if I don't get to use it. Good lord. 27 lands. Iteration just hates me? Yeah. I would like the card if I liked decks like, I don't know, like Murktide. Maybe even the 4-color Ephemerate, which I do like that deck. I just... Mord is so good at it, I just feel like an idiot. I can't play it in front of him. Well, we're not playing Amulet Titan. Like, I think that's a very different argument. Reckless Impulse? Yeah, I like Reckless Impulse. I like Reckless Impulse, and I love Light Up the Stage. I love Light Up the Stage. Love it. 10 out of 10. Big fan. Ooh. The Coco. Huge. Tremendous. I can't even get started. It's not Swiss Sneeze, not at all. It is... Okay, that's beautiful. It is not a meme in any way. It sure does, Alex. It's also got some sweet odd time signatures in it. Like it's a good song for musicians. So we go Valakut, Valakut, and then Mountain, Mountain. Oh no, on this board I can go Valakut, Mountain. Yeah. Let's get the Triome. Yeah. Triggers. You get a trigger, and you get a trigger, and you get a trigger. Everyone gets the trigger! Yeah, we were one short. But, like, wipe it, like, attacking is lethal now, though. That's the thing. Like, I don't need more Titans if I just wipe their board and go, okay, declare attacks. Hey, actually, a cute bunny. Yeah, we didn't have the mana. We could make the dwarf, but we didn't have the mana. Heliod, Aether Gust. I remember this for the Velomachus turns deck. This matchup was free. Yeah, it did, but like you could say the same thing about Thought Scour. Quetzalcoatl. Just thinking positive. I love you for that. Thank you. Thank you. You gotta accentuate the positive, man. Do I want the Prismatic Omen in this matchup? I feel like I don't need to go fast. I'll just keep the Explorer. Yeah, I don't need any of this stuff. All right. So this has enough interaction that I'm like okay with it. How goes it? Well, we got trounced by Burn in the first matchup, but that's normal. I did want to get to your deck today, but then I got distracted by the Urza deck that Da Vinci was posting at me, so I crap. And tomorrow's Saturday. Oh, good. I drew Expressive Iteration. It's actually okay to have it here. Spike Feeder? Oh, they've got Coco. Rats. So they get to go Coco into Coco. Well. Did the snow squalls hit there too? What, like little bits of snow in the air? I went for a very long walk, and yeah, there was little bits of snow in the air. But there's the Coco. Ranger Captain and Arbor Elf. Okay. El Capitan. Jace. Okay. So I have Wrenn and Sixes to kill the Arbor Elf. So let's go Bolt. And then we'll iterate and we'll try to find Wrenn and Six. I still have a land drop if I find... Well, none of those are what I wanted. But we do get to go hand, bottom, exile. So it's not too bad. Go Dwarven Mine trigger. Explore. Oh, I could have played the Valakut. Yeah, I should have. Oh well. Thanks, Quetzalcoatl. Have yourself a good evening. Or a good auditing. You know, whatever. Clay Mentor, sure. Untap Spike Feeder. Oh. Oh, right, I'm just dead, right? Is that how this works? It's been a long time. They just, yeah. Yeah, okay, cool. Game 3. That's modern, baby. That's modern, Mord. So I'm not interacting until turn 3. But I am on the play. We could always draw a Bolt or a Prismatic Ending or Hard Evidence. We'll probably be fine, right? I've got this Expressive Iteration. It'll find me whatever I need on turn 4. They were not running Heat. I have no idea why they were playing Tarfire. To get the 5-0 with Tarfire. 5-0 Tarfires. Tarfire 5-0s in Modern. It's more likely than you think. But don't take my word for it. Ask Mord to Light, the guy who just got hosed by Tarfire in Modern. In Modern. Heliod. Do it. Do it. Sprawl? No. Don't use Sprawl into Heliod. That's BS. Oh, Spike Feeder. Sure. That's fine. Yes, style points. Some people have a sense of style, and some people don't. It's just, Now they're gonna blow out my card draw? They're blowing out my card draw. They're only on 3 cards in hand? I have no idea what that means. Coco? Okay. This seems real high roll. Alright, it worked. Opponent's a high roller. This deck has the second Sacred Foundry. I can't imagine wanting to play this Wrenn and Six this turn. So let's tap these 2 for the iteration. If I want to play the Wrenn and Six, I can fetch out the Sacred, this Stomping Grounds too. I almost definitely won't. I mean, I feel like the coward play would be Teferi, bounce the Spike Feeder, bounce the Mentor. But I don't know. I feel like this deck just doesn't have the right kind of interaction that I'm used to playing. Let's go for it. We'll hit, right? We can't miss again. Oh, we missed. All right, let's not die to their combo kill, please. And then technically, I don't have an out for infinite life, so if they go infinite, we're gonna scoop it up. I'm just not interested in trying to game them on it. This looks like another collected company. We don't have a Jace. Yeah, it's over. All right, so beaten by Heliod. That's not a good sign. Yeah, this deck does not have outs to infinite life. So Creativity Titan really disappointing for me in the way that it's trying to go fast, but not in a I don't even know the right way to say it. It's like it's not this deck is just like not flexible enough. This reminds me a lot of playing like Spider Space's Grixis Reanimator Creativity deck. Even with Jace, you lose to Skyclave. Yeah, I guess so. But they're not guaranteed to be able to find the Skyclave before you win. At least you'd have a shot, right? Like, well, it's like obviously this deck is good, right? Because it went to a 10K top 8. But you definitely need to like some of the hands I was keeping were like not particularly strong. I was just like, well, I have enough interaction here. I'll be fine, right? And that's just not the way this deck seems to come together. Also, the colors are just being like the color and the land drops. I swear, we're just getting like constantly we're just getting the business on this. It's a lot more green than I'm used to, so maybe the play patterns are just throwing me. Like it's different in a way that's exactly problematic for the way I'm used to playing these decks. Usually it's Jeskai green. This one's very Teamer white. Ignoble, sure. B over T. Don't fail me, Iteration. Iterations failed me once again. It's actually not too bad. Mord. It's okay, Mord. I've been on a messed up losing streak for like the last 2 days. You think Iteration's doing it out of spite? Yeah, maybe. At this point, it certainly feels like it. Anyone got any rat jams in chat for Danger Zone? Kenny Loggins wrote all the great soundtracks of every 80s movie basically. It's shocking. It really is. He did Danger Zone for Top Gun, and he did was it not Flashdance, the other one, Footloose. Thank you. Larynx! How was the rest of your stream, my friend? I went out on a big long walk in the cold, cold, cold Canadian air. Matron, okay. How's the wife? She enjoy her time? Supervising a crazy Japanese samurai? Well, don't worry. We're going to play a bad artifact deck after this. And the Creativity Titan deck has been doing a lot of losing. But I'm sure it's mostly my fault. So they got the Snoop Muggy Mug. So they can't combo this turn. So we'll just get him on a clean sweep. Do that, do this. Valakut and Triome. Trigger. Boop. Well, yeah, but the ones I've been playing are like, they're consistently getting 4/1s, and I feel like they're better than they look like, even though in the abstract I would agree with you that they seem like they'd be bad. They just seem like they would be bad, right? But they kind of work. Like, because I think the metagame is like kind of this like mid-range grindy value-driven nonsense, and it keeps up with that, and then sometimes it just has like super powerful backdoor combo plays. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't have thought it would be anywhere near as good as it has been performing. That's all I'm saying. That's like, it doesn't seem like it should. Yes, what do you want me to say about it? They look bad, but they work. Like, what? Of course, the horniest of vegans is interested in the backdoor combo. As well, you should be. You got to do prep work if you want to have the backdoor access to a combo. But you know, it's a treat. You know, it's good on a cold night in winter. Do you hate getting hated by literally everything in the format, though? I mean, it is what it is. Prismatic Omen seems okay against black. Oh, Jiggy! I saw your proud papa vibes comment yesterday, and I was very happy about it. Yeah, they weren't exploiting the bug, or at least not in that game. Maybe they will in this game. We'll see. So we'll cut down one Wrenn and Six. And Teferi's not terribly good here. What happened to the days where no one could interact with KCI? We stony them. Yeah, I was really surprised with myself, Jiggy. I think some of the sideboarding was a bit sus. And that was on me, like, especially in the last one where I was against 4-color, and I was like, I still had the stupid Mog Salvage in, and I realized, like, before I drew up my last hand and it was in there. Sideboard's always sus. Yeah, but I understand why it is, right? Like, it's not an easy thing to know, like, what everyone's on, because people are constantly moving. Yeah, it's very hard. Yeah, modern stuff, and that's why I love creativity so much, because I never need to worry about their sideboard cards so much. Like, it's gonna be like Spell Pierces and like Thought Seizes and that kind of nonsense. Like, that's what I have to worry about, right? But not. Yeah, 4-color Sky Noodle it has some of the most variation. Yeah, I think 4-color Ephemerate has the most variations in its builds of all the decks that I can think of. I guess if you called 4-color Creativity as a group, like a single deck, that would be true. But there's really only like 1 to 2 successful variations. Blue-white, though, has a lot of differences too sometimes. Like, sometimes they're on Force Negation, sometimes they're not. Like, and that's a big deal. Is this a keep against goblins? They're gonna Blood Moon me, aren't they? Oh, I should have brought in Force of Vigor. Well, I'm gonna keep it, but I'm not. Anyone who refers to as La Villa Strangiato as obscure rush, you might be right, but you're not. You're not winning me. You're not winning any points with me by referring to it as such. I wish. I wish. Well, Rush from its inception up until Signals is like just one of the greatest musical runs of all time in terms of breadth and specific songs. And Farewell to Kings and Hemispheres are just an unbelievable album. Prismatic Omen. There's exactly one in the deck, Jiggy, and it does make some sense. It sort of like helps you. Like this deck has an advantage that it gets to be kind of linear sometimes. I'm not talking to you, Siri. Remember when Scapeshift needed the Omen? Well, I was listening to Dominaria's Judgment, and they definitely talked about like the 67 or 66 or 64 card Scapeshift decks that were occasionally relevant, because it's like, well, instead of playing Prismatic Omen, we'll just play overcarded so we can get, you know. And it's funny when people like always like Gorilla's like, oh, I can't believe you're playing 61 cards. It's like it's really not. It's really not a big deal. I'm looking good. The mustache is just a couple more days, but I'll shave everything else soon so that the mustache gets to be nice and clear for its final day in the sun. So they have the Snoop, but we don't know if they have the Harbinger. I don't think I'm gonna bother ending one of their vials. I'm just gonna have Explore into Aether Gust this turn. So I guess I can just do that into this, into that, into this. There's already another vial there, Turtle Power, so that's just like wasting a piece of interaction that I have in a way that doesn't really benefit me, right? I play 61 when you can play 80. Well, 61 is just like, one, it's like Jiggy's good luck charm, but two, it's just like, it's just not going to come up that often. I was having a really tedious conversation with someone earlier today where it was like, I just did the quick math on like how many hits you need for Wandering Mind. And so it was, you get an 89% success rate with Wandering Mind to hit with 18 hits in your deck, Jiggy. And they were like, well, you should really like count from like 50 cards in the library, because you know you need at least 3 lands plus the Wandering Mind. You're never going to keep a hand, blah 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 blah. I'm like, it's like we're just trying to do some quick math to make a deck so that Snoop Bug is amazing. I mean, it's funny. It's just like, yes, if you want to get into the actual usage case, like, sure. How am I supposed to do this again? So we let them put the Kiki Jiki on top, and then they're gonna snoop the Snoop, and then we gust the Snoop. If they snoop the Matron, I guess I could gust the Matron. If I gust the Snoop now, then they just leave it on top. If they go for the Kiki Jiki and then they copy the Matron, that's the one that kind of screws me up. Although I guess it shuffles away the Kiki Jiki and then... No. Titan. In order to has the tokens, they have to target Conspicuous Snoop with Conspicuous Snoop, and in response to that, you can Aether Gust. And then they've got a Snoop sitting on top of a Kiki Jiki. So I think it's better to do it now. I'm just saying, like, you're not dead if you don't do it here, but because it's Aether Gust, not a normal removal spell, it's better to do this, I think. Well, and also this means next turn I can go like Wrenn and Six ping the Boggart Harbinger, which they also kind of need. Because they need multiple things going on here. Even Thought Scour was good tech against the Goblin combo, the Snoop combo, Snoop Moggy Mog, and Dr. Keeks. But yeah, I mean, like, Jiggy, in my first Velomachus article, I did all the math because, like, I was actually talking about, okay, like, this is what the deck is doing, and when you're doing the thing, here's all the math that you need to know. So that if the percentage chance of you hitting a Time Warp trends to under 50%, it's like, okay, like, that's a conversation, right? To actually have in that moment. It's like, if I put Velomachus into play and attack right now, if I'm 68% to hit a Time Warp, that's really, really good. And some of the other things you can hit are like Time Warp adjacent. You wait till I made a copy, and then you can gust the token to stop him and ending the Snoop on your turn. Yeah. No, because then the Snoop's on top of their library. So do I Creativity X2 here? Do we win? No, we don't win. We can do a lot of damage. We can't win. They have one card in hand. If it's what's it called? The throwing stuff goblin. Oh, they could wipe out both tokens if I do that. Okay. We just Creativity X2. We get probably 2. Yeah, okay. Yes. Valakut. Valakut. Yes. No, not Sling Gang. Munitions Expert. To kill one of my tokens in response to the creativity. That was the bigger danger. Sling Gang doesn't really matter right now. All right, I'll be right back. Yeah. Damn. Does creativity still work if one target dies? Yes. So everything in Magic, what will, yeah, exactly. So if a spell has targets, once it's legally put on the stack, if you remove any of the targets, it will still do the best it can to resolve. If you remove all of the targets, it's removed from the stack and countered. Well, it's not technically countered anymore. It's just removed from the stack and placed in the graveyard. Dark Odious with the Prime resub. Thanks, friend. How you doing today? We're against Martinez DP, and he is at 1-2. Ooh, hull breaking, huh? Can't keep that. Yeah, it's not where you expect to find Martinez, huh? Vegan, you're really living up to your name. I love it. I have a good vegan recipe for chipotle black beans too. It's basically one of the only vegan things I make, and it's only vegan by accident. It's not intentionally a vegan recipe, but oh my god. Good mulligan Martinez. All right. I'm gonna smoke the Wrenn and Six here, I think. But this does not feel good. Now we're flooded, right? We played against Burn and we couldn't draw lands to save our life, and now it's just horrendously flooded. Oh, good. Oh, good. And somehow I don't have double green yet for this Titan, so it's like actually. Martinez, after I played the Valakut, said, "That's both unexpected and terrifying." Yeah, I guess so, Turtle Power, but it's like, and I guess this is one of the matchups where like that's actually really good. Until they have, any number of sideboard cards against you, and then it's terrible. It's like if I draw a creativity, like it's not particularly good here, right? Because they probably have solitudes or what have you. We have to draw another green, otherwise we're in trouble here. I mean, I'm already in trouble. If I draw a fetch land, maybe not so much trouble. I don't know if he's on counterspell or he's just like futzing around with like a bunch of evoke elementals and stuff in his hand right now, but like he's like, I can't deploy these because there's no targets for anything. Yeah, I agree, Jiggy. Like Strike It Rich. There's no Strike It Rich in this deck, Ting one, which is part of what I like about this deck. This version of the Creativity Titan deck. I really hate Strike It Rich in these decks. I'm just not a fan. That's not it. Prismatic Omen. That would have been a draw. All right, we got the 6 mana. Surely we'll cast our Titan now, right? Nope. They also left up blue again. Might just be for to pitch if I'm right, and they're just representing the counterspells they don't have. I don't know what they're on at the moment. Instant speed, prismatic ending. They're definitely on that. Ping my dwarf, sure. Got 9 cards in hand. Urian to draw 2? Sure. And reset Teferi. It sure does, Jiggy, but I've beaten them where they showed me their hand at the end of the game, and it was literally all lands. It's pretty funny. Okay. You got it? They do not got it. So we go Valakut triple trigger. If they have Ephemerate, they can flip their whole board. Yep. Should have gone upstairs. It's okay, we'll kill him next turn. God damn it. I always realize this crap like a half second too late. I think this is the first time I've ever seen someone play Ephemerate on a Urian against me to like dodge planeswalkers, so I'm not surprised that I missed it, but like until I chose my targets, I was like, oh yeah, this could be really bad. Not really bad, but bad. You took Omelet to F&M? How'd it go, buddy? You cook anyone? Get any cooking done? How'd that go? Good, good? Omelet Titan. Like Saffron Olive says. It's delicious, Mord. Buddy. Hey, sometimes you're the rubber, sometimes you're the road. Kick W. Yeah. Just dead. He's got another Solitude. He can live through this. But not through the mountain afterwards. Got all these. Yep. Solitude Urian. Sick play, dog. Boop. Alright, do it again. That's funny. It's a stupid way to win a game. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, skillful and excellent. Yeah, these kind of big mana decks definitely can give the Urian piles the business. I played Landsboard. I played 2 Primeval Titans. They have Enter the Battlefield triggers. Many versions of 4-color Ephemerate just can't deal with the card Valakut in their main deck. There's literally zero cards that interact with it. I kind of want Aether Gust, but I probably don't actually need it. I kind of want Rest in Peace, but I don't think I actually need it. I think the sideboarding I have is fine. We don't need hard evidence, I guess. But I don't hate having it. Sometimes you get to go off early. Oh, shit. We got some sticks coming up for you guys. This is a newer song. It's from like a 2012 era, something like that. This is One With Everything. All right. So I can't stop a Wrenn and Six. That's fine. I want the green. All right. 4-color versus 4-color just had Garfield and Titanic. He put dual lands in the... Mord, your sensei is a coward. Look how frightened he is of our power.
Crush the freedom fighters before the start of the rainy season. And remember, a shiny new donkey for whoever brings me the head of...
Oh, look at him up here, Mr. Martinez. Oh, look how many trophies I have. I'm kidding. It's a Blood Moon format, Turtle Power. How could they possibly be playable? On Spike's stream right now, he has a Stoneforge in play, a Stoneforge in hand, and 1, 2, 3, 4 equipment in hand. Is hysterical. It's hysterical. His hand has Manriki Gusari, Shadow Spear, Cauldron Complete, and Lightning Greaves. Turn 2 wins. Too good for Modern. Yeah, we need to ban this shit. Ergo, thanks for the follow. Sorry, my alerts are not working properly in my ears still. I haven't figured out what the problem is. Watsy Henry D. All right. An okay opener. A little light on green mana, but that's probably fine. Let's get set up for green. What does the D stand for? What do you think? Main deck Spell Pierce? Not a chance. Not in this format. No way. Main deck Spell Pierce. There was in fact a chance. They're just testing it, Vegan. They're just testing it. They're just out here doing the good work. All right, they're just making sure that we all have the best possible quality play experience. Let's play around Gutshot just in case they're on some really crazy list. So this gets me 2 fetch lands because fetch lands get me more Dwarven Mines. I mean, I guess I can get the Valakuts now, but assuming that it dies, yeah, I want the fetch lands. Oh yeah, exactly. Turtle power. It's like this is a totally fine outcome for me. It's just the fact that they're missing lands. Obviously, they Serum Vision. They still don't seem to be okay. They're a Murktide. The Delta threw me. Thought they would be on. Oh, but they have no Luris, so it shouldn't have. I'm just being stupid. Okay, opponent. Is that it? Is that heat? Oh no, my Titans died. I'm not a master of this deck, GE. I'm playing it. I'm not a master of it. My opponent is very, very dead though. Lonely night, where you live so long with the vibrations, and I'm dancing with myself. Dancing with myself. Dancing with myself. Whee! Trigger. Valakut. Trigger. Mountain. No. Triggers! Woo! Alright, so Dispute, Gust, Veil. Okay. Ending is like fine against Murktide, but I'm actually like never super high on it. Although I guess Explore is probably the thing we're cutting most of all. And then endings for linear matchups, or sorry, Omen. And Wrenn and Six really only kills one thing, which is Monkey. And this is a 27 land deck with Wrenn and Sixes, so you kind of want to be careful about how many like mana sources you keep, I think. Oh, recipes. Yeah, thank you. Oh, let's get the rest of the Wrenn and Sixes out then, probably. I'll keep one. Miser's Wrenn and Six. No, I'll keep two. They can kill DRCs with recipes in play. So it's funny. The person who took creativity the finals of the GP, or the Channel Fireball event, says he really hates Rest in Peace and creativity decks because it shuts off your Wrenn and Six. But it's like in all the matchups where I bring that card in, Wrenn and Six pinging DRCs and Tarmogoyfs that are X1s is like really good. Also, they tend to remove your Rest in Peace at some point, right? So it's like, I don't know. It's definitely something that like I definitely noticed that Rest in Peace hoses my Wrenn and Sixes. It's not like I don't care, but it's having the Rest in Peace in play and the Wrenn and Six in play at the same time in the matchups where you do that. It's like it's just not a problem. Does this deck do fine if Ragavan keeps sacking you? I think so. You can't take much. I mean, obviously, if they play one of your Titans, it could be problematic, but like, and if you lose too many Valakuts, but there are 3 of them, so it's not super likely. All right, so let's play potentially untapped land. I would like this to get green-blue, so I don't want to have to do this. Yeah, like Wrenn being just this little machine gun is fine. Yeah, Rest in Peace is it's just the only it's like the only graveyard hate I want to trust, I guess, is like the way I want to talk about it. Is like if I have to play like Soul Guide Lanterns and all that crap, like you need a much more linear game plan. Or you need another reason to be doing it, right? Which you may or may not have. Yeah, in that 5-0 league too, Jiggy, like some of the enemy Ragavan hits were just like gross off of our deck. It was very swingy and tilting. I mean, we won, but like, well, yeah, no, obviously the creativity deck can't play artifact-based graveyard hate, but I'm just saying like creativity as a game plan would work with slower graveyard hate, but like not because like your proactive plan is fast enough that like buying yourself 1 or 2 turns can be good. All right. I'll just go tap mine here. This is fine. Just keep making land drops for now. Unflipped DRC is not really giving me the business here. Yeah, it's really silly turtle power, and as far as I have been able to like really suss out, it's not for any good reason. I've never seen a compelling argument for like really why is creativity worded that way. Like I've never had anyone present to me a properly compelling argument about it. It does, like, there is the argument that you want them all to like enter at the same time rather than piecemeal, because if you worded it in the way, like, I don't know, it's just one of those things where I'm like, it just doesn't seem to be necessary. I'm sure someone in templating was like, no, it'll be a nightmare. How did we lose the first 2 matches? Terrible draws against Burn. We literally got land screwed in game 1, and then game 2 they had a completely bonkers hand. And then what was round 2? It was another linear. It was Heliod, and we just kind of flopped around and didn't do anything. So I want to try to get this expressive iteration through. Yeah. Oh, they're just like F6'd. Wild. No, I think it's about having the things come in at the same time, Alex, rather than one and then the other and then the other, because like certain static effects can happen. It's not much of an argument, but it's at least something that I go, I guess, maybe. Shrug emoji. If you get Dryad and Titan, it could be relevant. No, because the trigger goes on the stack afterwards, Mord. No, the thing you would want to, like, if you got like Containment Priest and something else, the order in which you got them would matter. They want to draw 2? That's fine. Definitely because it hits your opponent's stuff too. I don't know, something about it, just it reads like one of those warp world things, except like you don't choose which order the things come in; they just all come in together. But I don't know. EE on 0. Deal. Mort. I did not, Shauna. I did not. Well, Cage just doesn't interact with creativity though, Kooky. That's the thing. It was yeah. But at least you'd have to like you. I've talked about it before. It's like you can. I've been telling people for months, Jana. Nobody wants to believe in creativity. Don't know why. There's probably some kind of stigma on polymorph decks. So if I shock... Okay, so we're going to 7, which is okay. Play Teferi. They'll counter this. Then I have Aether Gust on their turn plus Dispute. Spell Pierce. I want to pay for that? Yeah, I guess so. I mean, this means I'm giving up the ability to interact with the Dragon's Rage Chandler at all right now. I mean, like, I literally 8-0 to challenge with it, right? On the Velomachus version, which, like, if that... Like, you can't 8-0 with a bad deck. And, I mean, I'm not coming after Fran or anything, but he's a busy guy on weekends. It makes sense. But, like, he doesn't play a lot of challenges, so, like... I don't know. When he was like given Titan, like saying Titan was dead and all that crap, it was like, it's not like you're out there playing it trying to like do something about it. Whether you did or didn't believe in the deck at the time, it's like, you know, there were a ton of people out there trying to put in the work to make it happen. And that's what happened with creativity. Like, it's only as good as it is because, like, me and other people kept working on it. And, like, really learning the play patterns, really figuring out what it's doing in the meta. Yes. Every deck is bad until it wins an event. Then everyone's going to say how it was always great and they knew it the whole time. They're casting a Murktide. This is so good for me, I think. Because we either get to counter the Murktide or squeeze their mana. Yep. Thank you. Would you like to lose or would you like to lose? You have choices. They have chosen to lose. But bad is relative, right? Like, think that's fair? Is it fair to say that bad is relative? I don't think there's anything that can counter a Titan here. Let's find out. So Valakut and a mountain gives me 3 triggers, which kills the Murktide. Or 2 mountains gives me 4 triggers right now, which can't quite kill them. So I think we go Valakut Mountain. Just blow away the Murktide. Yeah, I agree more. Like, I have a clue to draw with if they don't crack their E. If they're cracking their E, they're spending 2 mana to do that, which is most of their turn, which means I could probably iteration. I don't care. You can heat that. It already did its job. Yeah, as a blue-red pilot, the matchup seems great on paper, and then you play it, and it's like, oh yeah, all the cheap interaction is really good. Murktide is so much easier of a matchup for creativity decks in general than blue-red prowess was. That matchup was a nightmare. Ugh. we start with this. They did not counter it. Okay. Play a mountain. Triggers. They have to hold up EE? I mean, they don't technically have to. They don't know I have a creativity in hand mort. They could just, you know, be a baller. Did you ever think that they could just be awesome? Do we not want to bounce the EE before playing the mine? I think we're fine. I think we're very far ahead. You're right, though. We definitely did want to do that. No. But that is correct. Crab attack is just respect for your opponent. Instant creativity doesn't matter? Sure it does. What if they try to pop their EE proactively to stop the dwarf beatdown? Realistically, this game's just over. I should have plus my Teferi before combat. It's not going to matter. But I should have. How much mana do I have? Can I go creativity, then let them pop the EE, then fetch a dwarf and creativity? I can. And they will be dead, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I can. Ask them if winning gets you a spoiler card. Absolutely not. Opponent, you didn't even get to see how dead you were. So yeah, this deck is definitely like powerful in a way that is great for attacking the metagame. Like if you're worried about the Solitude game, this deck is very good against the Solitude kind of interactive piles. You don't really care about Fury so much in most instances. You definitely care about Solitude less than the Emrakul version. And the Emrakul version like is built to play around Solitude, but what if you just wanted to play through it? And then also, again, it is very important to say like this is a very powerful linear strategy. This league was quick compared to a lot of other decks, a lot of the other creativity decks that I play because this deck is not as good at playing shorter games. Is much not as good at playing longer games. That said, you could tweak it out. Like you could have a Jace somewhere in the 75. You don't actually have to play Explore. Like there were multiple games where we just didn't explore. You could make it more interactive and still keep it this kind of deck. So there's just like lots of different ways you could build Creativity Titan. And this one from Andre Girard is definitely a good version. I'm not convinced by Wash Away in the sideboard, but like it's fine. It's not the worst. I think it's not actually particularly great against Cascade decks because the number one card I want to beat against those decks is Force of Negation protecting their Cascade spell. And Wash Away doesn't do that. But what it does do is it has a split mode where it's cancel, and that's something that Flusterstorm can't do. Dovin's Veto is kind of the middle ground there. It's never 1 mana, but it's uncounterable, so that pushes through Force like literally always, and it's better against blue-white control decks. I liked what the person who went to the finals when he had the 2-2 split of Flusterstorms and Dovin's Vetoes. So like I tweaked out my sideboard and creativity to reflect some of his choices. So I'm on 2 Helix, 2 Veto, 2 Flusterstorm, 2 Veil, 2 Shark Typhoon, 2 Recipes, 2 Blossoming Calm, and a Wear Tear. Blossoming Calm is a split card against Burn and Belcher. So it lets you have a really high density of cards you could bring in against Belcher. So Anywho, we're just going to play a list from the one and only DaVinci MTG who just dropped by. But if you're in the future watching this on the YouTube, make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, check out any of my other videos that I'm interested in. And I